All right, so we're going to work with getting our systems of equations on Desmos, or how to do that. Obviously, it's going to make things easier. However, there's still like a few things with this you got to always be careful with, or you got to make sure you are doing correctly. Just because you have like a tool like Desmos doesn't mean it's going to just like spit out correct things at you without you doing anything. Always make sure we're using the one with the green bar. That's the testing version. If you use a non-testing version, it can do more things, but that's not how it's going to work on your check-ins and EOCs. Uh, if you end up with a different state, I would imagine there's some things that you might be able to do or might not be able to do. So make sure you got North Carolina green bar version. All right, so let's start with this. We got two equations. We should be able to solve each of these without Desmos or with a calculator. But we've got one now. So what we want to do is we want to put the equations in. So all you do, type in the two equations exactly as they are. When we put in those two equations, each equation needs to be put on a separate line. And what we end up getting are two lines graphed, and they will intersect. Where they intersect is our solution. So in this case, we're intersecting at the point 32. What that means is our solution is that ordered pair. And what you got to remember, x comes first, then y on ordered pairs. So x value is 3, y value is 2. That ends up being important at times because sometimes they'll ask you just for x, sometimes they'll just ask you for y. All right, but if it gives you two equations, that's literally all you have to do. Plug them in, find where they cross. Okay? Let's try one that's a little different. Y'all go ahead and give this one a try. All right, Alexandra, what you got? 8 is correct. All right, so again, not anything super tough. Gave you the two equations. Find where they cross. They're crossing at the point 5,3. This one is asking for the value of x plus y, so we got to add those together. So it becomes more and more important with problems where we're using Desmos to pay attention to what the question's asking you for. You will always get an ordered pair. You just need to make sure you're keeping straight what you need. All right, so let's make it a little tougher then. We got Dave bought 3 pairs of pants and 4 shirts for $73 at the same store. Joe bought 2 pairs of pants and 6 shirts for $72. How much does a shirt cost? Sarah E., what you got? $7 is correct. All right, so Dave bought 3 pairs of pants and 4 shirts for $73. With Desmos, we have to use X and Y. So a lot of us probably would have done like P and S before to keep straight which one's which. So you got to remember which one you're making X, which one you're making Y. So if I do this as 3X plus 4Y equals 73, that means I'm using shirts as my Y value. So for the second equation, shirts also would have to be my Y value. So 2X plus 6Y equals 72. Sometimes you gotta zoom out some to find where they cross. So what that's telling us is X is 15, Y is 7. I made the pants X, so the pants are $15. The shirts were Y, that makes them $7. Okay? If we would have done the opposite, if I would have made the pants Y and the shirts X, as long as I do it for both equations, I still get the same numbers. I still get it's just the ordered pair is going to be flipped around. Okay? So you just have to be careful, make sure you're consistent with what you're doing. Like if the pants are X, the pants have to be X on the second equation also. And then make sure you're paying attention to which letter you used. Okay? Any questions on that one? All right, try a little different one. Cows and chickens. We got 100 animals on the farm. 256 legs. We know how many cows are there. Robert. Chastity. 28 is correct. All right, so there's 100 total animals. You add the two animals together. We got X plus Y equals 100. For that equation, it does not matter which one's cows, which one's chickens. When we write the second equation with the number of legs, that's where it kind of matters. Whatever letter is going to be the cows has to have a coefficient of 4. Chickens, we need a coefficient of 2, and it's going to be equal to 256. Obviously, we're getting some big numbers. You're going to have to zoom out. So we got 28 cows, 72 chickens. It's only asking for the cows, so the 28 is our answer. Okay? Any questions? Like I said, it makes things a lot easier, but we have to be able to enter them incorrectly to begin with. Each one of these we should be able to solve without Desmos as well. And there will be some on the inactive on a check-in or an EOC. So just always be ready for that.